Now, what you all fretting about, Sonny? I didn't mean to scare you like that.
What is it, Mark?
There's a dead man's body lying in a gully near the cutoff to Willow Springs.
You mean you found him?
Yes, sir. There was a calf caught in some bushes, and after I let it loose, I stumbled into the grave.
All right, now, boy, take it easy. Is that why you're late?
No, sir. I stayed at school to help Miss Adams.
You'll stay with the boy, Artemis?
You bet I will. Yes, sirree, Bob, you bet I will.
Thanks.
Where are you going, Paul?
Well, I'm going to see what's got to be done. You better stay here with Mr. Quarles.
Who is he?
Well, he's our cousin by marriage to Uncle Alder down in Springfield. We haven't seen him since you were a baby.
Howdy, Mark.
Artemis is patching our roof, son. And you can stop fretting about that man you found. It'll be taken care of.
I'll try.
I'm Miss J. Quarles at your service. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, come on, you two. Help me hitch up the team. You'll tend to supper if I'm not back in time.
You can count on it. Yep. Yes, sirree. We'll work the galley together, won't we, matey?
Now, tell him how you fought off the pirates, Artemis.
Pirates?
The old Navy man.
Golly, did you really fight off pirates?
Yep. Now, let's you and me go get something to eat. What do you say?
All right.
Fine. Yeah, there's the ship we sail on now. The China Queen. Name of the last ship I berthed on. Went down off the coast of Chile in the roaring 40s. All hands lost. It was 2 months after I signed off.
You really sailed the seas?
Yes, sir. All 7 of them. Fought pirates at Trinidad and Madagascar. You're not afraid now, are you, Mark?
No, sir. What are these things?
Oh, the tattoos? Well, I tell you, it was in Queensland. 5 days after we sank a Spanish ship and took 30 prisoners.
Why'd you bring him back here?
I want the marshal to see him. Now, before I take him to town, I want to ask you a question, Mark.
Well, sirree, I guess the boy wasn't fooling there. How long did you say he'd been out there, Lucas?
Well, I'd say he was killed this morning.
This morning?
Well, who was he?
I don't know. He doesn't have any papers on him.
What do you want to ask me?
Well, Mark, I wanted to find out if you picked anything up out there that you might have forgotten about. Something to give us a clue.
No, sir, I didn't pick up anything.
Bullet don't leave a clue, Lucas.
He was killed with a knife, Artemis.
Well, who could have done it? Nobody around here carries a knife.
Well, I guess the marshal will want to know who I am, huh? Me being a stranger in the neighborhood and everything.
I can vouch for you.
I'd rather you didn't, Lucas. I could stand a little suspicion, as long as I didn't do it. Great for business, gets your name around. Then when everything's cleared up, people give you work. Scot-free advertising.
Well, I don't think Marshal Torrance is in that kind of a business, Artemis.
Yeah, maybe he ain't. But on the other hand, I could have done it. I killed a lot of men in my time.
You fought pirates, didn't you?
Oh, hundreds of them.
Well, just in case the marshal does ask, where were you this morning?
Well, I guess I was picking daisies to make a crown for my horse's head. That's what I was doing, picking daisies. Well,
I better get going. I won't be late.
Well, mighty good victuals we cooked up, boy. You'd make a good man in the galley.
Think I'd be old enough?
Oh, sure. We had him younger than you and the China Queen.
Killed with a knife, huh? You say Mark found him?
Yeah.
Where's Mark?
Well, he doesn't know anything more, Micah. Left him at the ranch with Artemis Quarles.
Who's he?
He's fixing up our roof. Cousin by marriage.
Oh, well, let's take a look here.
You ever seen him before?
Never.
There's not much identification on him, Micah. I just found this belt with the initials RM.
RM? Hi, Harry. I saw these initials today on a man's saddle in town.
You sure?
Why, of course I'm sure. I got the man in jail right now for being liquored up in the last chance. His name's Carson, Joe Carson. Let's get this body over to the parlor, Lucas, and have a talk with him.
I didn't kill anybody. Didn't you ever buy anything from a fellow that had his initials on it?
If I did, I'd take him off.
Look, Marshal, now, if a fellow puts his initials on his saddle, then he put them on his holster, too. Look here. Mine is clean.
What are you trying to prove?
When you found that fella, he had his holster on him, didn't he?
No?
What about it?
Well, he was wearing a fancy gun, Marshal. Now, you saw what I was carrying. If I killed a man, why didn't I take his gun off it?
You're not squeezing out of this that easy, mister. McCain here says the man wasn't carrying a gun or a holster. Now, this 38 of yours could have belonged to him. Maybe he just didn't initial everything.
It's the truth. I'm telling you it is.
You got a bill of sale for the horse?
No! I tell you, we made the deal outside of Willis Springs.
Where you come from?
Nowhere in particular. Just a drifter, more or less. Bronc rider, wrangler, you name it. Flush one day and broke the next. Marshal, I'm telling you now, I'd made a killing playing poker. I liked that fella's horse and saddle, so I made a deal with him for it.
If you had that much money, how come you're broke now?
Well, it was only $65 to begin with. I paid the fella $50 for the horse and saddle, and then I spent the rest of it right here in town.
You don't know who the man was?
No, I don't. The fella said he was a drifter, the same as me, only broke. When I offered to buy his goods off of him, he sold them to me. I was going to buy that gun of his, too, but he said that wasn't part of the deal. It's a pearl-handled Russian .44.
And nobody saw you make the transaction?
No, you're just going to have to take my word for it.
Nobody has to take anybody's word for anything. You'll get a trial.
Marshal, I didn't do it. Well, don't you believe me? Don't either one of you men believe one word I've been telling you? Marshal, I didn't kill anybody, you hear me? Look, I didn't do it, here. I didn't kill anybody.
What do you think, Lucas?
I don't know.
Ah, just about does it. One more shingle will do it. Ah.
Aren't you ever scared of falling?
Falling? Artemis J. Quarles never fell off anything. I learned how to hang on, reefing sails in typhoons.
Someone fell sometimes, didn't they?
Where?
Well, from bringing in sails.
Oh, indeed they did. I saw a fellow let go once. He had a hook for an arm. Used to hang from the braces, swing back and forth like a monkey. Then one day, it just broke, hook and all. I guess he let it get rusty and it just give way. Well, don't you ever let anything get rusty, boy. I guess I'm about done, Lucas. Just some cleaning up to do now.
All right.
Pa, you figure they'll hang that man in town?
Yeah, I'd say it's a good bet, son.
Don't you believe he did it?
I don't know what to believe. I want to thank you again for watching the boy last night.
Well, it was a pleasure. Sorry it had to be done under such trying circumstances. You think that fella did it, huh?
Oh, that's the way it looks.
Never could abide killing none. Excepting when a man come at me first.
Well, you killed him then, didn't you?
I sure did that, all right.
What'd you kill him with?
Never mind, Mark.
Don't make no difference how you get rid of a pirate or a cutthroat, boy. Except I never used a gun. Always used swords.
Swords? Well, don't you like guns?
Yeah, sure, I like guns fine. Guns are beautiful things. Turned out with love and care, all shiny and bright. Guns like a beautiful woman. But to me, using a gun's like a woman putting rouge on her face. Never should be marred, never. That's a beauty, that rifle you got there, Lucas. Don't suppose you want to sell it, do you?
No.
Pay you a good price for it.
Pa'd never sell his rifle.
You can't say I ever saw one quite like it. A man would be proud to own that, even if it was only to hang it over his fireplace or up in his wagon so he could fall asleep at night looking at it. Well, if you won't sell it, I guess that's that. What kind of shells do you use, Lucas?
44 40s.
I got a whole box full in my wagon. Traded them in with a fella for some work last month. Sell them to you cheap.
Oh, no, thanks. I don't need any shells.
Is something wrong?
There's something I've got to find out right now. I'm going into town, son.
Can I come along?
No, you stay here and finish cleaning the yard. I'll be back before you're through, Artemis.
Don't you hurry, Lucas. Got the whole day.
Never crossed my mind, Lucas.
Well, I didn't think anything about it either, though. I was putting some shells in my saddlebag. Then I remembered Carson didn't have a saddlebag with his gear.
Sweeney, let's take a look at that drifter saddlebag you told me you took for credit yesterday.
.44s, Micah. These wouldn't fit Carson's gun. He wasn't lying.
Where's the dead man's gun? Sweeney, did you take anything out of this?
I didn't touch a thing, so help me, Hannah.
You thinking Carson didn't do it, huh?
Why would you have told us about the gun?
He could have sold the gun last night after he got caught, made up that whole story of his.
Well, I don't think he was lying, Micah. He was scared.
They're all scared. Let me ask you this, Lucas. Who else do you suppose could have killed anybody on that road from Willow Springs? There hasn't been a stranger in town in 5 days.
Except Artemis Quarles.
Your distant cousin?
Yeah. Micah, if Carson's story is true that he bought that horse and saddle and left the stranger on foot, maybe the stranger was picked up on his way to Norfolk.
Well, let's go out and see Quarles, just to ease your mind.
I didn't mean no harm, Mr. Quarles. I was just putting your tools away. I didn't know you had anything like this. Anybody with guns like this, I'd think they'd show them around.
Ain't for you to bother with.
Well, don't get mad, Mr. Quarles. Wait till I show Pa your guns. Pa loves fancy firearms.
He does he? Well, what do you know? So your Pa likes fancy guns, eh?
Yes, sir. You aren't mad at me anymore, are you?
No, of course I ain't mad. It's just that I treasure my things. I don't like folks poking around in them.
Yes, sir. I don't blame you.
And I'd be mighty glad to show your Pa all the things I own when he returns. Except I gotta ride over the valley to see a man about another roof job your Pa told me about. Maybe you'd like to ride with me, eh? We'll be back in an hour.
Will you tell me about where you got the guns?
Indeed I will. Now, let's you and me get hitched up, eh?
You bet.
What's holding you up, son?
I was hungry. Got a piece of bread for you, too.
Ain't that nice? We'll be back before the supper. Yeah.
Well, even if we're not home before supper, it'll be all right. I'll let Pa know it so he'll know I'm with you.
Whoa!
What's wrong?
Here, you wait here. I just remembered some tools I forgot in the barn.
Mr. Claus!
Why'd you come back, boy?
Well, I was still hungry. I thought you were going to the barn. I knew it. You tore it up. Why'd you do that, Mr. Quarles?
How'd you tell your pa about that gun? About that pearl handle gun?
What about it? What about the gun?
If only you'd stayed out of my wagon, boy.
What's the matter?
Why do you want to hurt me? Because I'd tell you about that gun of his?
What gun?
His pearl-handled gun in the wagon.
Quarles.
Artemis! Throw it down, Artemis. Come on out, Artemis. All right, drop that gun. I don't want to hurt you. Well, you're not going to pull that trigger, Artemis? I know how you feel about guns.
You're right. I can't fire it. I never should be marred. Never.
Well, Marshal, you can tell those fellas over at the saloon I'll be back for my saddlebag as soon as I can raise $10.
Just be careful how you raise it, mister.
Well, I always have. I certainly want to thank you for having some trust in your fellow man.
Well, I could have been wrong. That's why we have the law.
Mistakes can happen.
Yep.
I guess we can all make mistakes, sir, Lucas, especially about church-tail relatives.
Now, let's say just those who tell us they fought pirates.
Yeah.
Paul,
What, son?
he did fight pirates, didn't he?
Maybe, maybe not.
He told me such wonderful stories about sailing ships and finding pearls.
You liked him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Well, you just remember the good things he told you, huh?
Let me tell you about the time he was sailing off the coast of Chile.
Tell me on the way home.
He sat